find my voice? Can I have a thumbs up? Please keep your videos on if you can. It helps me stay in my element. Welcome. I'm going to do a little voice activation just to get us started. Let's go. Feel free to connect with your body, your voice, and join in if you like. Before we get started with all the juiciness, just breathing in. Happy Sunday. We are going to make this short and sweet, but we are going to pack a lot in. So I want you to just be present as much as you can. If you need to get a notebook, if you need your pen and paper, because you may want to write things down. For those of you who have already collected the playbook, we will be using that a lot today. I know not everybody wants to go deep on these things. Some of us just like to brush in. There's free stuff all the time. This is really about, one, I'm giving away what helps me stay in my lane and shine in my element and be in my resonance, because I want to see a world of creative beings leading the way into this next iteration of humanity. We are all here for this reason, this purpose. And if you want to go deeper, that's when you can do things like purchase the playbook or work with me personally. But you don't have to do that to get so much out of this. So stick around to the end, because I will be giving freebies. I'm doing all those things. But we are going to go deep. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome wherever you are in the world and in your space and in yourself. So I would love to hear in the chats, just so I know you're all alive and present and ready and raring to go. So, Voice and Vision, Voice Alive 2025. All right, our voice is so many things. It is the way we express and show up in the world. It is the way we sing and sound our songs through. Some of us are songwriters, some of us are singers, some of us are performers, some of us just want to be able to have those conversations with people that really matter and feel like we are staying true to who we are. Some of us want to become an authority in our field and really claim that position in what we do. So, the voice is in everything of who we are. For those of you who don't know me and are new to what I do, I've spent the last 24 years in music education across a span of so many situations, helping people bring their visions to life, and whether it's through the voice or creativity or connections or the courage to step into our dreams. And I know it's not always easy. Pursuing our passions, it takes time, it takes strategy. We want to easily give up because it can feel overwhelming. Who is backing us? Who is cheering us on? We have to be our biggest cheerleaders. We have to, as I've been saying in some recent posts, give enough of a shit about what we do so that it doesn't matter if nobody else backs us. We are still backing us and we are still there. And that's what will rally everyone along for the cause. And you will be surprised, because you also got to not give too much of a shit when you don't get the likes, the comments, the results that you want. It is just information. It's not personal. Every time we leap towards our dreams, we are leaping closer, even if we don't land where we want. So these are going to be strategies to help us, and we're going to use the voice. How are we going to use vibration, and why is it so important than just another goal, strategy, vision, mapping, planning thing? Yes, we are packing a lot in an hour, can you believe? Look how much we're getting done. I'm so on time and aligned. It's only 10:37. It's only been 7 minutes since we began, can you believe? I'm already feeling pumped. So, just getting this music is like amping me up. This is the new song I've created. We're going to get this as part of our visualization, a golden solar plexus light activation. So, the science of sound and why I'm so passionate about the voice and why we're bringing the voice through. And I want you to just drop in the comments, because I want to know you're alive and you're here and you're present. How are you wanting to see your voice show up this year? How are you wanting to see your voice show up this year? Are you a performer? Are you wanting to record your own things and be empowered in that? Are you just wanting to be heard? Are you wanting to be able to speak clearly and feel like you are you in your life? Just whatever is coming through, how do you want to show up in your voice this year? So why sound and why the voice? Well, firstly, on a cellular level, and these studies show, as we know, that certain frequencies can calm the nervous system. We can actually switch and alter and impact our brainwave state listening to certain music, binaural beats, all of these things. So music, sound, and the voice can enhance our healing on a very deep cellular level and ripple through the body, resonating into our cells and creating, calm, creating relaxation, helping soothe the nervous system. So just even on that level, being able to use the voice to help us achieve our visions and our dreams is just going to be so much more of an aid to support us in that. But then we've also got the subtle reprogramming of ourselves, our self-belief, our mindset, being able to feel like we feel clear and true in our voice about what we are doing and what we are believing in. And this repetition, when we're creating mantras, vocal sounds, repeating something over again, even hearing the sound of our own voice, this repetition can help really encode in us what we are wanting to bring through. And we're going to go through a lot, as you're going to see. We're going to talk about archetypes in our mindset, because you can wish to the cows come home. This is my New Year's resolution. How many people, hands up, have started New Year's resolutions? I'm going to do this, and then didn't actually do it. Probably most of us at some point in our life. If you haven't ever had that where you've achieved everything, well, then you are a god and welcome. well done. But most of the time, and I'm curious, what are those big resolutions this year? Because this is why we are on here today. We believe we want to make that step and that leap forward. So let's have a look. Using my voice as creative expression for healing, says Sophia. Beautiful. I love that. It's my jam. So this is perfect, the place we've come to be. And you got the playbook, so hopefully this is going to amplify for you. Joel's? With confidence, integrity, and honesty, speak what I need and want. Use my voice in song and sound to make my spirit feel alive. You can even feel in the way we voice these intentions how they are coming across, even the way we write them. That's still our voice. I love it. As a way to connect not only to myself, but to others and their light. Vanessa. Yeah. Because when we resound in who we are amplifying, we are resonating, we are ringing true. And when we ring true, we cut through. Others can feel us. The message gets across 100%. Beautiful. Anyone else want to add anything of how you are bringing your voice through this year? Go for it. If you haven't got the playbook and you really want it for this session, I'm just going to drop it in the comments. I've put a lot of energy into this, and like I said, not everybody wants to do that. That's fine. But for those who do want to go deeper, it's there. These are things that I use. We have a monthly strategy, which you'll see, that we go through, which helps us really see, you know, often we don't realize how far we are moving in life. And it's very, very difficult to grasp the depth of our momentum when we're not stopping and reflecting and evaluating and having gratitude. And this is a big part of achieving. So let's get into it. It's only been, again, 10 minutes and we've done half the thing. Have a quick look at the playbook and a question. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't have the book. You don't have to, but you might want to write some things down. So again, get a pen and paper if you haven't got that. Make sure you're hydrated, all the things. We are going to do some movement and some voice activations in a second, but the first thing I want you to do, I'm going to share the screen. I've just set out one of the things I'm going to be doing with visible voice, which is people I want to work with more closely on how to get visible in the world, is what tech and tools I use to make things seamless and easy. It's actually a big deal when it comes to achieving what we're achieving, because when it was hard, we want to give up more easy. So you should be able to see this. This is Miro. It's one of my best friends. I love Miro. I've built my entire, you can zoom infinitely in and out. So I've got 2024 up here and all the things, and every month my journaling that I did, and so much going on there. But right now what we're doing is we're zooming in. Can you all see that fine? Nodding for me, beautiful. We're zooming into here, and I just want to ask you, before we get into the voice activation bit at the end of it, the first thing is, what energy, and I'm going to show you why this, we're going to create a sonic anchor. This is really, really important. So first we need to know, what energy will I embody in 2025? How do I want to feel as I pursue my goals? Because it's all very good to say, I want X, Y, and Z. I want to achieve this, this, and this. But if you don't know how you want to feel, and I've been guilty of this, then you can burn out, or you can disappoint yourself, or you can get super trapped in the life that you've created because you didn't leave space for just being human in the best ways that you want to be, right? Does that make sense? So write it down in the chat or write it down on your piece of paper. I'd love you to share both. But how do I want to feel as I pursue my goals? It's really, really, what energy am I going to make? You might have one word. You might have already figured this out. And some of this you can come back to and watch later. Don't worry about if it takes you time, because I am moving through everything. So this is a replay that you can watch any time to go back over it. Don't worry if we're moving a little fast, but just allow whatever comes to your head straight away. And coming off the back of that, after what energy do you want to feel, I want you to pick the top core values, 2 to 5 or 3 to 5, whatever. It doesn't have to be. Maybe it's just 1, but don't go more than 5. 3 is a good number. Your core values that you are honoring this year. So, and why? So as an example, creativity, to keep my spirit and purpose alive, or abundance, so I can flow effortlessly. So just think about what your big core anchors are for this year that you are going to keep yourself moving within. No matter what happens with your other goals and your aspirations and life as it comes and moves you in all directions, this is your beacon and your guiding post. And we're going to create sonic anchors around these, and we need to remember how to come back to them. So it might be that you like to be light and feel joy and have fun and be silly, or have humor. Humor, because it reminds me not to be too serious about being human. Like, what are your top core values? Write at least one and a why right now. And can you share at least one and a why in the comments? And this stuff should be easy. If you overthink it, you're overthinking it. Literally, write it down in the comments. It's going to come through. You don't have to be some amazing, graceful, eloquent, god or goddess that says something that feels like it's making the world have a Nobel Peace Prize of a poem or something. What have we got? My word and intention for the year is expansion. I'm recording my second album at the moment. Woo! Ninka! Beautiful! And expansion, so that's your word of the year. So what is your, when we think about, how do I want to feel, Vanessa? Deep trust beyond my knowing. Excellent. So has anyone got any of your core values and your why? Just one word and a why. Because we're going to use this now in our sonic anchors. So I want to see a couple up there for me in the chats, please. So a core value for me is that I want to flow so I'm not stressed and rushed and everything can be in the frequency of me. That's a little simple one that just comes off the top of my head. Ascension 5, or we are controlled by AI. Kerry, it's bringing in the ascension for humanity. Yes, keep your eye out for this lady. She's doing it. Sophia, I want to feel safe, relaxed, expansive, adventurous, invigorated, fully alive. Why? Because it feels good. So feeling good, that's your core. So when we create these sonic anchors, you're going to pick that. So Sophia, I would sum that up as just feel good. Like, we've spent so much of our lives sometimes trying to carve ourselves into a pretzel for other people. For you, just feeling good, knowing how to tap into and anchor that is going to be a very simple, straightforward thing that we want to do. So finding that one keyword that you're going to work with first, because we're going to just work with one thing at a time and you can come back and do multiple through your replays. Freedom, says Vanessa, so I can continue creating and expressing authentically. Yeah, no hindrance, no bars hold, and that sense of freedom. So as you're feeling your word, everyone, I want you to just think about and start to notice, if I was to act that, if I was an actor on stage and someone was going to give me $1 million to do an action and a sound that goes with that feeling, I want you to start percolating that in your mind. You're going to get $1 million for this. You're going to damn well do a good job, right? If I want to show on stage and I have my 5 seconds of expressing what freedom feels, looks, and sounds like, or of what feeling good looks and sounds like. Do you get where I'm going with this? Discernment, tune in and decide if the choice is aligned. Discernment, I like that, Penny. Big ones. I think the older we get, the more we realize that we really want to say no and learn to have those boundaries way more often than we have most of our life. And it's a big deal. And actually that creates a lot of freedom, or like how discipline can create the space in our life that we need. And I call that blisscipline. Curiosity to keep learning, exploring, and growing. Beautiful. All right. So feeling in your body, what would that action, that 5-second $1 million performance be for expressing curiosity? Would it be like a cute noise and your fingers running up, and would you like feel it up here in your chest? Would your whole body get excited? So start to find your sound, your action for your feeling that you want to feel. Playfulness is it Joel or Joey? Can you just clarify for me? I can't quite see it. It's an I, isn't it? Joey? Joy's? Is it Joy? Gosh, could be. All these creative spellings. Playfulness. So playfulness, very fun. Like that sound. Like that's how I would, yours might be a different version. Grounded and centered. Ninka. So I am able to expand from a steady place. See, that's a different vibe altogether to the excited curiosity, right? How would you do that grounded, centered energy? So for me, instantly, I'm like, I feel like I want to hold my body, put my feet on the phone. I almost want to do the action of a stamp. And it feels like a lower sound to me, but that's me. So find for you your version of your 5 seconds of acting out for your $1 million. And these are your sonic anchors. My core values, holistic health, contribution, creativity. I love it. Okay, so can you just put your hand up if you've got one word that you can do this exercise for? We're ready to do this? Great. So, I'll put the music back on so it can be just fun. Let's go. All right. So feeling into I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. If you want to put your hands on your body or your feet on the earth or however it feels that you need to tune in to that word that is, you may have many words, but you're choosing one right now that is your big core, one of your big cores for this year. That no matter what, this is your guiding light, your beacon that you are calling in. And I want you to see yourself starting to, you've made the deal, you're going to get $1 million if you can summons up that feeling on command. And you're like kind of feeling a little bit cute about like, I can't believe this, I'm going to get paid $1 million to do this is awesome. And so you're about to walk out on stage and as you do, you feel the auditorium go quiet. Everybody is waiting. And then this big light comes right on you, and a 3, 2, 1 countdown in a second. I'm going to count it in, and you are going to, with all your sound and all your might and all your body, and it can be quick, it can be long. I want you to get ready for this by rubbing your hands with me. We're like, it's like feeding the fire, getting it ready, feeling excited, like it's Christmas. Oh my God, I'm going to open the presents, yes. And then when I say 3, 2, 1, I want you to make your sound, your sonic anchor for this feeling. Are you ready? Keep it going. I just have to let someone in. 3, getting ready, feeling your word. 2, 1, go. Now, first of all, you are all so damn beautiful right now. And that was so easy, right? Hold that feeling. Now I want you to do it again without this big hoo-ha of me trying to get you to bring it up. On command, you just need to feel that energy. 3, 2, 1, go. I want you to feel how easy it is. Now, the thing with anchors is the more you do them, just like how the brain works, you're going over that neural pathway. It's going to keep becoming stronger, more activated, more powerful in your body. So I want you to, as much as you can, when you actually feel that energy, do that action. Do that sound. When you want to feel that energy, do that action and do that sound. Call it in as much as you can into your life, because you are a supercomputer and we get to program and tune ourselves to what we want. So this is a beautiful way. I should have stopped sharing for all of that so you could see each other. That was joyful. This is a beautiful way that you will be able to make sure you have some grounding to hold space for yourself for this whole process. If you don't have that grounding and life gets crazy, which it does, and things that are unexpected happen, which it will, what's going to bring you back? Because remember, like I said, you have to be the one that gives a shit. No one else is going to sit there. You might have some great cheerleaders in your life, and well done if you do. If you've picked some great friends or family partners that can do that for you, it's not always going to be how you want. You have to be your cheerleader. So one more time, on the count of 3, 2, 1, you're going to do that action because it's on command, on demand, whenever you want. 3, 2, 1. Feel it, summons it. You are the creator. You are the activator. So that's the first thing. That was very simple. We basically did our little harmonize activation. We're going to do a guided meditation now. And then we're going to get into the strategy nitty gritty. So before we do that, I want you to get into your expansive self and your visionary self. So get comfy again. If you want to lie down, stand up, move around, whatever you need to do. Let's just do a little shake. Roll it around because we are going to go on a little journey together. Let's get this happening. It's a very simple one because I've got a more advanced one that I'm going to be sending to you on the YouTube, like I said, for you to really bring through your key for the year, for your solar plexus light, for your confidence, because confidence, backing ourselves, is one of the biggest things. So this one is to really get your vision expansion out there. I'm sure you've been thinking about, what does this year mean to me? Before we go into the strategy, the nitty-gritty of how to combat anything that's going to get in the way of that, let's dream big. So close your eyes. In breath. Out. And as you feel your breath in and out, keep it circulating, rolling your body as you need to feel open and juicy and present. Breathing in, sounding out, feeling your jaw. We'll do some of this. Some nice. Let's even just do another big breath and stick that tongue all the way out. Feel that, your tongue as an extension of your spine. One more time. Yes, big yawns are fantastic. Let it free. Stretching, just feeling open. All right. Now, some of us are more visual. If you're not a visual person, you can just decide you are doing this and just trust what comes through naturally. It might be a thought or a sound or a knowing. We all have different psychic senses, so just go with it. So you are walking through a tunnel, a vortex, a space. All the human monkey mind thoughts and parts of you that hold you in your ego are just breaking away and melting into the abyss as you move through this tunnel of light, which is taking you all the way. You become more and more pure, more and more light as you move through this tunnel. See everything that holds you back, that keeps you human, dropping away. In the distance, you are being called by beings, and you start to feel yourself drawn towards a light at the end of this tunnel, and you are beginning to allow yourself to burst through. Burst through, birthed anew into something that is the most true version of you. Breathe in, breathe out. Circulate that breath. Bring it into the lightness of your head. All the way as you're bursting through the end of this tunnel with your breath. All right. Coming into a silence, a spaciousness, a clearing. This is you seeing you a year from now, exactly a year from now, on this day, a year from now. Who are you? Just let it come through. What have you achieved? What are you able to do now that you couldn't a year ago, that you are so proud of? Feeling the messages and the information coming down through you with big divine guidance from all of your guides, your souls. What is your greatest you that is coming through. What are you surrounded? Who are you surrounded by? What have you learned? Feeling the joy as you arrive right now to realizing you are in the place that you have been wanting to be all year and you have arrived. What is it? Who are you? I want you to find some key words, some key phrases, some key things that make themselves apparent to you right now. This is just a short little visualization, so we're going to come back out of this. So just take a few more moments to really let the scene show itself to you. Who is holding you? Maybe there's not faces, maybe it's feelings of people and the way they treat you, the way the community celebrates you, the way you are held by life. See it, feel it, be it. Taking those pieces like little gifts of gems and holding them in your heart and your knowing as you come back into the presence. As we're going to work with this information, I want you to find the ones that are the most important to you. The most important to you. Okay. Coming back to presence. Now again, if you have your pen and paper, you may write down anything important that you really want to capture. I don't want you to go through all that and forget. So just feel free. There might be a few little important points that just really show themselves. You might be surprised by some things that you didn't expect or think about. Or maybe you already knew. So just write it down and practice writing it down with full anchor, full clarity. Practice how you can say it with as least words as possible. Okay, we're going to go into our activity now. And we're going to come back to using the voice throughout the end of the activity. But we're going to get a bit cerebral. We love getting cerebral, don't we? We love using our beautiful brain. Thank you, brain. Okay. Now what we're going to do next is actually one of the most important things, and I talked about this earlier, so I want you to drop in the comments for me, because I want you to first to write one thing in the comment that you have chosen that you're achieving this year. It might be just giving up an addiction. It might be surrounding yourself with healthy people. It might be learning to say no. It might be releasing your second album, like what Ninka said. It can be big or little, it doesn't matter. Getting really fit, great. Keep writing, everyone. I want to see something from everyone, because I want you to know that you can hold yourself in that energy, that you're not afraid, and you can claim it in as little words as possible. It's clear, it's simple. Be seen, practice. Your community loves you. This is you a year from now being amazing. So now, be aware. Oh, grief rituals. Now that was unexpected. You are such an interesting creature. Be aware too, we are writing in first person. So I am becoming, or blah 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 is not, as is just I am loved by my community. I have really great wealth habits. Just claim it as a now thing. Put it in there. Okay, really important. So surrounding myself with beautiful, healthy, creative community, beautiful. And surrounding yourself is it's an action in process all the time. So she's even a year from now. Okay, so what? Next question. I'm sharing more of myself online. I have birthed the retreat of my dreams. Woo! I feel excited about that for you. I wanted to, that's me this year too. I'm birthing multiple retreats of my dreams. I'm very excited. Yay. I'm learning who my true self is. And, you know, a year from now, a lot can happen in a year. So I'm learning who my true self is, and I love her. You know, maybe give it a little bit more juice so it doesn't just, you know, I feel the timidity and you're like, oh, I'm just learning. Like, be a bit bold, fam. Claim it. Get what you want out of this, right? Go all in. And this is the next question. Maintaining alignment with my divine path and highest expression of my true self. Beautiful. Now I love it. It's beautiful, and it's an excellent mantra to put on your wall or somewhere where you can read it regularly. Also, what is an actual physical representation, a very tangible result of what that looks like? So I have a beautiful, you know, I'm in flow every day, or what is the expression, the highest expression of your true self look like tangibly, Steve? So can you go deeper into that? So don't be afraid to go deeper into these, fam, because if we want results, we have to be specific. We're going to talk about that. I'm a transformational coach specializing in grief rituals and breaking limiting belief. There you go. Beautiful. She had the 2 words before, it's amplified. She's fleshed that out. I love that. And you can, as you flesh this out on your at home, you can be like, people are booking me. I'm making money in my business. You know, you can flesh it out and go deeper into what you want that to be. That feels really good. Now, I have a question for you. What has stopped you from achieving your goals in the past? Because like I said, yes, we all put our hands up. We've wanted to do amazing things and then we didn't do it. And then we felt like a failure. And I'm so shit. Didn't do the thing I wanted to do. I was going to be so great this year. And then where did that year go? Jeez. Wow, right? Where does the year go? Now, who knows why? Anyone's got an idea about why we don't achieve what we want to achieve? I'm going to talk about a very, very real reason. Yeah, you got an idea, Stevie? Does anyone want to share? Actually, I want to hear some voices. Unmute yourself and just say, why don't we achieve what we want to achieve? I'm curious to know before I go into an activity around this.
Lack of focus.
Lack of focus. Who was that? Where was that? Oh, Sophia. Oh, wait, what?
Carrie.
Carrie over there. Yeah, great. Lack of focus. Great. Unconscious beliefs that you are not worthy. Yep, Vanessa, totally.
So just a few things I wrote, like having the things all together. So like capacity, knowledge, willingness, but also having self-doubt and self-sabotage, thinking that it can't, or feeling like you need someone else to help you get there and not being able to do it on your own.
Yeah, you've covered a lot there, like, which is a really good point. It's like, do we have the capacity? But question, can we get capacity? We can.
Yeah.
We can choose to make space in our life. If we don't have the knowledge, can we get the knowledge? Yep. If we don't have the willingness, who's responsible for that?
Ourselves.
Yeah. And if we don't feel worthy enough, are we going to be very willing?
No.
Yeah, so
for me, it's the constant adjustment. For those who don't know me, I have complex health stuff. So for me, you could have one or the other, but they're they never come together. So that's the thing that's the focus, connection of all things, building on where it's at. So that's it.
And you've touched on something really poignant there, there's a little bit of we're going to talk about our BS, our belief systems, and there's some BS I can hear in there when you're like, they never come together. So we're going to work on that. So you've nailed it there. The archetypes that we see ourselves as is what we live out. So let's have a look at this next thing that I've got in. Now, if you are, let me share this. Did anyone else want to share anything before I move on? You're happy? I'm keeping rolling? Good?
Yes? I was just going to say, like, living an old identity and not stepping into new identity of the person I need to become to achieve the things I want to achieve.
Well, lucky you were last, because that's exactly what we're doing. You nailed it. Dun, 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 dun. So let's look at the playbook, which again, if you don't have it, you can write things down and answer them yourself. By the way, so that was the first section was our little welcome. The second section was the blueprint, in which we just did our little sonic anchor, and you're welcome to take some time to talk about your voice story, because this is really going to help you in what you're going to actually be doing with your voice story. But now we're moving on to exactly what Sophia said, our old BS, our belief systems. So if you, which I always my whole life thought, I'm not a morning person. And now I want to be a morning person, and to identify as being a morning person, I realize I actually have to be an early to bed person. It's taken me a whole year to integrate that, and so I'm looking forward to actually enjoying 9:30 going to bed rituals instead of I can't go to bed before midnight. Who would do that? So our old BS hold us in place, which stop us from being out, exactly like Sophia said. If you have an identity, it's all about archetypes, it's all about identity. So I want you to, on your piece of paper, again, if you have the book, you can open this up in Canva or Miro and type it out and fill it out in there. You can just start going, well, and this is the thing, and this is a very, very big key. You can't just write something. I want you to think about identities that relate to your goal. So if your goal was, what some of the goals that we had? So some of our goals were, I'm running my business as what was it that you said, Vanessa? I can't remember something. It was quite grief work. So if she had a belief around, I'm not seen online, and it might be very subtle, or people don't click on my posts. It could be very subtle. Then I'm not going to get clients. She might not have that belief. But as an example, if someone had their goal being that they're going to get fit, or Misty with integrating herself and being her best self, or Steve being his best voice, but yet he has a story that, you know, he's carried around since childhood about that somebody else can come and take his voice away from him. Then if those little subtle BS systems come in to wreak havoc, you are really going to struggle to achieve your goal. So I want you to really think about, what is your goal? So what your goal, your big vision is, and then find the belief system that might get in the way. And then this is the very, very important thing. Actually, I'm going to ask you this after I know you've found the thing. So I want some answers in the comments, because this is the big stuff that's actually going to make you get, we can do, I'm going to take you through the goal strategy planning in a second, and it's very simple. You can take your time to do that chunking down, but if you don't know your own BS holding you back, you are going to have a real hard time. It was a new journey for me in 2024. Great, Sophia. I'm looking forward to early beds for me for 2025. And I am happy to identify, it's only just really clicked, taking me a whole year to click, that I like the idea of going to bed early and getting everything done earlier in the day. I would leave things to the end of the day, because that's when you do stuff at night, because that's my time, because that used to be my workflow. You have to change your identity. So can I hear from a few more people? Unmute yourself if you like. Let me hear from you. Just I want to hear from 3 people. What is a little BS that you've been keeping around that could be hindering the goal you've chosen? One core identity shift is that I'm willing to sacrifice comfort for achievement. What was your, coming up here, what was your thing that you're calling in this year? Was
Feeling good.
feeling good. But now you're yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a potential clash there with what her core value is this year, is she wants to feel good, but she also wants to have an identity shift that she can feel sacrifice comfort for achievement.
Yeah. So I've been realizing that by staying in my comfort zone, it actually doesn't feel good. It feels pretty in my body. Whereas when I get out of my comfort zone and like just really step into new experiences that are uncomfortable to begin with, it actually feels really good. And I feel
I
really,
love that. It feels good to be uncomfortable. That is a powerful weapon of a phrase. I love that. I love that a lot because a lot of the time we don't lean into things because it doesn't feel comfortable. Oh, if who's been guilty of putting a post up and like 3 seconds later, if not, it doesn't have a bunch of likes or comments on it. You're like, oh God, nobody likes my stuff. Nobody cares about me. Oh, all the stories in our head, right? You've got to lean into that uncomfort. Sometimes it's just the timing. Sometimes it's the algorithm. Sometimes you hit the mark. And each time it's just information and you're landing closer to that goal. Stop taking it personally. Back yourself. You are the one who has to give the most of a shit. Everybody else is going to follow along. I love this, Penny. My BS. I'm too busy to post. I don't know what to post. What I have to share is not important. Who relates to that one? I know there's a lot of people here who probably has that feeling. Yeah. So first of all, I don't know how you feel about chat, but chat can be great fun. Hey chat, here's the idea of something I want to talk about, blah, blah, blah. Give it a few now put it, and usually it'll come up with something that you're not going to post because it sounds like chat. But it'll give you ideas and it's like a friend you can talk to and it's instant, and the friend doesn't tell you about all their own problems. It's just so encouraging and supportive. So that's an example of something you can do. You can bounce your idea off other friends. There's so many options you can do. But that character, now, one more character, I like a neurofeedback loop. Is there anyone else who wants to share something out loud? Because you know what we're going to do. Actually, we can just go straight in with the exercise. Unless you're feeling like, oh, I want to share my BS. All right. Your very important exercise right now, this is the stuff it's great. Again, people can go, oh, I've identified that this is my BS. This is what I'm doing. But then what? It's not that easy to be like, well, I'm just going to make myself post. No, you actually have to identify why you keep it around. This is called the payoff. And this is one of the biggest things that will ever help you make a difference and change the way we do things. For example, if I am too scared to go out on a limb and take a risk myself, or I don't feel good enough about something, and then I complain and go into a victim mode. So I'm sure a lot of us relate to the victim. Usually we're either really connected to the victim or the tyrant, or we might flip between the two. But I've definitely had my run in with the victim throughout my life. Sometimes I play the victim on purpose when I'm sooky and I need to get taken to bed and I want my boyfriend to tuck me in and I need help. Like sometimes we can choose to play it, but often we're doing it unconsciously. So this is where we have to understand there's a payoff. What's the payoff of being a victim? Anyone know? Yeah, unmute yourself, jump in. I'm sure someone's got... You are rescued from your life. Exactly. Vanessa's all over this. When you're the victim, people feel sorry for you. People want to rescue you. And it's a power play. You get the energy that you're feeling lacking from somebody else or something else around you. So every single BS that you've kept around, every single story that you're holding, every archetype that you think is you keep them around because they're actually being your friend. They're giving you a payoff. They're helping you achieve. The victim is being a really great friend to us because it's helping us get the power that we're feeling powerless about. It's actually really simple. And so we've got to not demonize our BS. Our BS is there. Our belief systems are there. Our archetypes that we've kept around have actually been helping serve us in some way. And if you can find how it's been serving you, then you can start finding to replace that same thing to serve yourself in the same way in a healthy habit. So you can't just say, I'm just going to give up smoking if you don't have something to replace that with. Oh, every time I feel like I smoke, I'm just going to do 10 push-ups, or I'm going to do some breath work, or I'm going to go for a walk. Like, I need something. The reason why a lot of people go off and do that action or that addiction is because it gives them, it might just be space to themselves. Go and find what it is that thing has given you and served you. Because anyone figured out avoid responsibility? Yep, exactly. That's a big one. Oh God, I have to be responsible, I have to be an adult, I have to, oh my God, the pressure. Because what comes with responsibility, Debbie, is the pressure. And then if I'm responsible, I have to be regimented. I have to be in line. I have to be structured. I have to do things. There's so much weight in responsibility. So I hope you're all finding these things, and I want you to percolate on this and go deeper later. Escape, exactly. So how can we, if we want to avoid, so as an example, let's just work with somebody real quickly. What's an example of an archetype that you've kept around and the payoff they've given you? So we can, in front of everybody, as an example, find a new healthy way of serving that payoff. Who wants to just jump in real quick for that? Somebody who hasn't had a go yet would be great. Come on, don't be shy. Use your voice. Bring it alive. Your voice alive for 2025. This is your chance to lean in. We are all safe here. It's a beautiful group. Come on. If you haven't jumped, yes, Penny, go.
Okay.
All right.
So I guess it's this idea of being like the martyr, the mother who sacrifices everything for, the good of the children, and like, that their needs are more important than mine. And
Yep.
almost like this lack of, there's no time for me because they need.
And so the convenience is, if there's no time for you, then you can't actually be upset at yourself that you didn't do the thing you needed to do because it was your kid's fault, or because it's your fault that you're your mother. So it's not your fault when you're the martyr.
Yes, I'm just trying to be, I'm just trying to be the best mom.
Yeah. And it's all about everybody else. And so there's a safety in that. Why is it safe to make it because there might be deep stuff in there. There could be stuff around like, God, if I make it about myself, I'm so selfish. I feel like I'm a noble person when I make it about everybody else. Oh, I'm a good person,
Yes. And because the lineage, coming from all these moms, these single moms who, had to do everything by themselves, and so who am I to think that, I deserve more, or...
Yeah, how dare I do it differently and then like I'm not special. The ego, I can't stand out. So it's protecting you from standing out, from having to claim space and therefore have any judgment of being seen as somebody who, may be egotistical or selfish or all those things, right? So it's protecting you from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa, that's big shares. Holy schmoly. So there's a double-edged sword in here. First of all, when you think about the pendulum, if we want to find the equal balance in anything in our life, we have to know what both sides of the pendulum extreme is. So part of it is you having to lean in and be okay with feeling what it's like to make it all about you. And to get comfortable with finding and go a little, it'll feel like you're going all the way to the edge. If and so there's going to be healthy things you can do to counter the protection, because the reason you've kept that around, it's a payoff, and it's also holding you back and staying in a particular shape and confinement that you can't expand from, right? So there's a double-edged sort of, we have to both find a new healthy thing that can serve, I still feel selfless and I still feel like a good person. Because if you just try and go all in on like, I'm just going to go all in, post everywhere and be seen and be selfish, you're going to sabotage the hell out of yourself, because you're not keeping the part that needs the safety of feeling like a good person still. So you need to find healthy ways. How do I make sure? So it could be communicating to everyone around you and your family. I'm going to make one day a week that is just for me, or 2 hours a day that, you know, and I do this so that I can be the best person served, blah, 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 blah. You can do whatever you want that'll be like, just by telling them that and communicating might make you feel better about leaning into the other direction and swinging that pendulum into the, you know, what else could you do to help protect that?
Yeah, I do feel like having clear boundaries around phone and, you know, like not being on the phone when I'm with the children, having the present time to be with them, and then setting aside time that is like, okay, no, this is not family time. This is the designated time to get back to people and do the posts. So clear boundaries on,
like having a little checklist, even if it's in your mind, or you could do it on paper if it helps you feel more validated, of like, I was really present with my kids when I was with them, tick. I blah, blah, blah. So all these things that
Yes.
I know I have done my best to be the most amazing mum today.
yeah,
I deserve to be treated and rewarded with some self-time to shine. So it's almost like earning that edge that you're leaning into now.
yes,
Does that feel good?
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And
definitely.
work with that more deeper. So take that, just go like, so we're just brushing over some examples here. You could do a whole session for everyone just on this 100%, like it's powerful stuff. But is everyone getting that? Was that really good did you feel like you got something out of that?
Thank you.
Thanks, Penny. Thanks for being a wonderful example. Love that. And yeah, feel free, because I've made a little chat group in the voice portal, the private, our little group. Everyone can go and share in there. Please do. Like, I don't want this to end just because this ends. And we're just going to go for a little bit longer. I know it's been an hour. If you have to jump off, go for it. But we're going to look at the chunking down the strategy now. So just give ourselves a little roll and just feel like there's probably a few penny drops. Because you got to think about, if everything was like octopus tendrils of energy, which that's how I sort of see reality, and if you put it down to science, you could see all the energy waves and flows. And let's say everything's these tendrils and they're plugs and receptors. And so you're plugging into different things and receiving different things. And so we've got to choose which plugs and receptors we hook in to our life. And if something's been unhealthy and we want to unplug from it, you will notice yourself automatically go into, oh, I'm going to plug into that again. It'll be so subconscious and so automatic. Every time you catch yourself doing it, tell yourself, choose again, and you replug that plug into you. Just turn that around, even if you visualize it or imagine it. And then you start to create. And don't forget, can we have everybody do, what was your cute little anchor noise? I get really excited. And, create your anchor and your sonic anchor, your sound, to get yourself back into awakeness, awareness, juiciness. We did that at the start for anyone who jumped on late. You can watch it later. All right, are we feeling good? Do we want to keep going? Feeling present? Any questions so far?
What if you haven't developed enough self-awareness to catch yourself when you're plugged into a certain mode that doesn't serve you? So
Right.
like with the victim mode, for example, like I obviously have some awareness when it's like really obvious, but if it's, it's been such a comfortable story to have lived in that sometimes I don't even know that I'm in it until I'm out of it, and it'll be like a day or a couple of days later and I'm like, oh, I was triggered, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. I'm curious to know if anybody else, before I throw my 2 cents in, does anyone else have any feedback of what advice, their thoughts they think about that? Yeah, Misty?
I'm part of a group that works with stuff like that, and quite often a lot of them say that obviously it tends to be that you don't catch it generally in the moment, but you do eventually get to a point where you can. But the way that they've gotten to a point, their first steps were they've started journaling, but it'll be because it's after you're reflecting on it, and then you can see if there's a pattern emerging, like, and it'll pick up certain things, and then that will be key little things that oh, I like that little thing. I know that's happened. I've journaled about it. Oh, I know I might go into this space, and then you can recheck yourself because you're aware of even that small point, and that creates another little stepping stone to be more aware of other things. If that's any help, that's just what other people have found useful.
Yeah, I was literally journaling last night and I realized, oh, I only seem to journal when I'm triggered because that's when I start going into the, those stories around like, this person's an asshole or that person's an asshole or this person's more successful than me and going to the comparison modes and whatnot. And then I'm like, oh, why do I only write in here when, I'm feeling
Maybe you're still doing it,
not
and
good
that's your
enough.
first step. That is still your little first step of awareness.
Oh, it sounds
Like
like
you're not seeing it as it, but you are becoming aware just by doing that. Sorry, I'll let
Yeah.
continue.
no, that's good. It sounds thanks, Misty. It sounds like when you journal, that's your cue to know I'm triggered. But I'm questioning here at this point, is part of the reason why you're triggered and need to journal because you don't speak up in the first place, or you're still trying to understand how you feel about things, what's your response to that? Oh yeah, and Carrie will have to
Um,
say in a minute. Yeah.
I no, I do speak up, but then I realized later that I didn't speak up in a way that was productive.
Got it.
Or like, yeah, I couldn't communicate in like a secure way
Yeah.
because I didn't realize that I was triggered. And then, in reflection, then when I start journaling, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't articulate XYZ
Yep.
well, or
Yep.
I didn't communicate well.
So it
And
sounds
then,
like, yeah, it's a communication strategy and stuff that needs to, you know, that it's tools and knowledge and skill that you're developing around communicating your feelings better, knowing how to check in, to breathe, to do those processes. In which case, I actually have a tutorial on how to have hard conversations that I can send this group if you like, and send it out in the email as a request if that helps.
yeah, that was
Just,
awesome.
just, just practicing a strategy and a process. So the next time you feel like, and you want to communicate, notice, oh, I'm getting angry. Here are some processes and strategies, and you can work different things out with whoever it is. So with my partner, we, we'll stop and we'll breathe together, or we'll hum together sometimes. There's different ways of like having agreements, because remembering you're on the same page and things like that. Did you want to say something, Kerry?
Yes, I did. I believe we're on this planet. This is a predetermined life, and we're here. We've already made. So every time my mind started thinking about it, I would take a conscious breath in through the nose, in the belly, in the chest, let it go, and that automatically disconnects you from that breath. And you can do it on the fly. And what your thoughts are normally in that situation are all around judgment. And that's probably not, but that's going to drop your frequency. So to keep your frequency high and to stop you the churning in that space, you just take that conscious breath, and you do it every time mine does, and you'll find that very quickly the thoughts that you're having are not going to be the same thoughts, because you've already taken the energy and the information out of whatever event happened. I hope that helps.
Thanks, beautiful. Sorry that I dropped out. I thought it was you and it was me. So, this is an exercise that you could spend a long time going over. Feel free to reach out personally if you want to have support with that, because there's so many strategies, and I definitely encourage you, like we were talking about with Penny, leaning in to those pendulum swings, because if you have to, learn to how to do the things that we're struggling with, it's going to feel extreme at first, but we're going to get better over time, etc., etc. It is practice and it's consistency. So I know that we're a little bit over time, so I want to go into the last bit of the goal planning. It's probably going to be another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll do a little bit of another little sound activation just to make it fun at the end. If you are willing to sit for another 10, then I promise you're going to get a lot out of this. And if you do want to go deeper, definitely reach out to me. I am doing a visible voice program to help people get visible online with your voice in whatever capacity that is. And that means teaching you the tools and the tech that I use to make it easy, because that is a big, big deal, and a big part of being brave enough to share yourself online is knowing how to do that. So definitely ask me about that if you're keen. So let's go in. Are you guys all feeling good? Everyone's feeling okay? Are you feeling good about that? You feeling supported, Vanessa, with your question?
Yeah, thanks.
Great. So into the last part. So basically, we have just created our sonic anchors. We have looked at our big vision for the year. We've also now looked at our archetypes and the payoffs and what we've been doing to potentially sabotage ourselves and why we may or may not lean into that big vision. And I encourage you to go deeper on this, because if you don't look at the BS and the archetypes and the characters that are protecting you and the payoffs, and give them love, because they've been serving us for a reason. If you really understand and then find a way to replace that in a healthy way, and also sometimes like that double-edged sword, leaning in to the opposite end of that extreme as you need, to expand past where you've kept yourself small, like we were talking about with Penny, then you're going to get the results. But if you don't, you're probably just going to keep wishing, like saying, I'm really beautiful, I'm really amazing, I'm really rich, and creating affirmations that aren't going to go anywhere. So you have to do the work. You have to lean in on that level. Welcome, Rangamarie. You've missed out on most of it, but we have 10 more minutes left to go over some goal strategy. It's great to see you. Lovely. So let's just do the last part. Let's share this little baby. So we've just done our old belief systems and rewriting your new identity. We sort of went over that. Once you understand that payoff that you're getting from that old BS, you can start to go, well, this is who I am now, which we talked about. You saw us demonstrate with Penny. Now, you may or may want to. If you've got the playbook, you'll have all this to do. We're not going to do this now, but really great to do. You can all just, screenshot this or watch the replay, but go have a look at a single line with clarity of all these different areas of your life, because we sometimes focus on just career or money. What are the whole spectrum of who you are, and it's highly recommended that you do the be, do, have template, because everyone focuses on, I want to have this, I want to have this, I want to have this thing in my life, but you forget that to have it, you have to be the person, which is what we talked about with the archetypes. So for each of these most important things that you list, like with health, I want to, lose weight. Who do you have to be to do that? And what things do you have to do in order to have that thing? So the be, do, have template is really, really important. So definitely go into that and structure that out for your most important goals, the ones that are most important to you, because you can't just sit there wishing upon a star and expecting things to change. So mapping the goals, let's go to this. So I want you to choose just one of your top 3 to 5 goals this year, step 1. And we're going to do this as a group. We're going to pick one thing together for the year. And we're going to look at it, that one thing, in a SMART framework. And I'm going to use somebody as an example again. I'm going to ask you the questions out loud. And then you chunk it down from the end to now. Chunking down from the end is really, really powerful. If you haven't already done this, if you already chunked down from the end, you'll understand. But if we sit there chunking from where we are, and it can feel like a big step, we actually go, if we know, like Ninka saying she wants to release her album, she knows that the final result is launch day, everyone's buying it online. And before that, she knows she has to make sure it's uploaded onto things online. Before that, she has to know that she has to submit it into the digital aggregate or wherever she's uploading it. Before that, she has to finish the artwork, and before that, the masters, and before that, the mixes, and before that, the recording studio time. So you go backwards from the end of your goal to the now step that you are in, and we time block that. So I want to have a look at SMART goals. And I'm going to ask someone as an example, and you might have seen this before, but if you haven't seen, it's smarter. ER at the end, which is important. We need our evaluation and our reward. This is the bit a lot of people miss out. And it's the bit that burns us out. It's the bit that makes us not fun achieving our goals. So basically, you want to make sure it's specific. You can't just be like, I'm going to be my best self. That's great. What the hell does that mean? What does it look like? Have a think about What does it mean to be specific? I want you to think about that right now. Specific. I want you to get the most clarity and make it tangible, physical. Like being my best self looks like doing a post once a week or once a month or performing on stage or whatever it is, right? Measurable. How will you measure and know you've got that goal and achieved it? A lot of people already know this stuff. It's good to go back over it again. Do it right now. If you already know this stuff, great. You should be able to answer in like a second to one of your goals right now. Be specific, write in a specific sentence, and how will you measure it and know that you've achieved it? I know I've achieved it because I tick a tick box every week for that post I did or whatever it is that you do. I know I've achieved it because I've gone to the gym 3 times a week. Achievable. Can you achieve the goal? What skills do you have and which ones do you need to obtain? Sometimes we pick goals and we actually need to achieve a whole bunch of skills to be able to do it. So you need to be real. What do you need to obtain and skill-wise or tools-wise or resource-wise to get the goal? Get real about what you need to achieve it. Relevant. How important is this to your bigger picture and your bigger purpose and your bigger why? Because this is a big thing, and I'm going to stop sharing and say this to you and look you in the eye when I say this. It is so easy to plan a million goals that look fancy and amazing, but then life happens and then you realize if you look back, fuck, because I'll have a to-do list this long. And then I'll realize I didn't even need to put myself through all of that. Who relates? You have this huge goal list and then you look back and you're like, I actually didn't need to do half of that. So it's really, really important in the SMART goals, I'll go back to the sharing, that you ask the question of how is it relevant to your bigger picture? Because, and this is the other thing, sorry, I'm going to say this in your eyes again. When you actually recognize how it's relevant to your bigger picture, you'll realize, because in our little human self, guess what we do? We think that doing this will get us X. Doing Y will get us X, and we will go and do it. But guess what? Half the time we'll do Y and it doesn't get us X. Because our little human brains in this moment right now, again, you've done a visualization of who you're going to be a year from now. That person's going to know way more than what you know right now. So the things you think you need to do to achieve what you need to achieve aren't always the things you think. So if you understand the bigger purpose, well, the bigger purpose is like, and you wrote that a bit at the start, right? We did how you want to feel this year, what your big core values are. If you understand, so for me, I want, again, as someone else said, they want freedom. Freedom that might look like a million different things so that they can create. I want a lot of space to create, and I want to actually follow the dam through on creating. And if I don't remember my why, I had a little cry about it the other night. Damn, there's all these songs that were really good songs. They're not really who I am anymore, and sometimes they weren't even who I was then. I'm going to now create a strategy where I release my back catalogue of all my music, even from when I was 18 years old, recorded in year 12. It was an absolutely gorgeous little innocent song. It's so adorable. I'm going to share my story. There's a lot of really deep stuff that happened to me, which is why I do what I do to help others, because I don't want them to go through what I did and the pain that I had. And I'm going to share that story. I'm going to share my back catalogue, and the songs that I don't want to keep, they'll be demos and someone else can buy it off me. I might make money, but at least the most biggest value here is that I'm letting my songs live instead of die inside me. If I died tomorrow and none of them were out, I would never forgive myself. My spirit ghost Tushka would be like, damn girl, you let all those songs die. I would be so devastated. So I'm holding myself to this, and you're hearing me pledge it, that I'm going to do it as a whole social media campaign. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to share it. If no one gets behind it, doesn't matter. I'm doing it for me, and that's my why. My why is that I don't want it to die in time. So you need to know your why, because what's going to happen? Life. What's going to happen? Challenges. What's going to happen? Things that you didn't expect. You will have to pivot. But if you know your why, if you know the reason why you're doing it, it's going to be easy to pivot. It's going to be easy to alter things, because your why will hold you, and you'll be able to say, oh, actually, I don't need to do X to get Y, or Y to get X. I could just do Z now and I'll get it instantly. You'll see things in ways that you didn't before. Is that making sense and landing? I hope so. Great. All right. So before we do our little example, relevant. Time bound. Guess what? If you're anything like me, I'm a Gemini. I love to start things and never finish it. Do you know how many books I've skimmed through? But I've learned a lot about things. I just time bound. Do you know the only reason you're here today is because I have to go help my mum move from her house she's lived in for 50 years on Monday. I'm going to be away for a couple of weeks. And I have to do a New Year's thing in January. So I had 10 days to promote this webinar, and here you all are doing this with me because I had to make it time bound. I had to get it done before I leave on Monday, before the end of January. Boom. That's what made me do my shit. That's what made it happen. You have to put yourself on the spot. Do not be scared to hold yourself accountable. And if you promote it and put it out there, you have to do it. It might even just be a friend. It's real easy to say to yourself, oh, yeah, you don't just be like, ring yourself up. Where were you today? You ain't getting that phone call from you saying, where were you today? It's so easy to let ourselves down. So I really highly recommend when you create a time-bound specific thing for your goal, that you have someone else or something else holding you accountable. Have a study buddy. Do it with them. Otherwise, you're going to slip away. You're going to give yourself your little payoffs and ultimations and sabotages. We're little slippery eels when we want to avoid our. A last thing, 2 things. Evaluate. At the end, after you've done it, so I'm going to look at this webinar that I did with you. How did it go? What can I learn? What needs adjusting for future? And importantly, how am I grateful and proud? I'm so damn grateful. And let me tell you something. Do you think, because I'm curious how you all judge me, do you think that 10 days ago when I launched this, that I've just been, yep, I'm doing this no matter, backing myself all the way? Do you think I ever doubted and wanted to back out and like pull the pin? You probably don't think about it, but hell yeah, I did. Sometimes every day. And I was like, God, it's a lot of effort. God damn, I hate having to put that out. Do you know the pressure of effort? Now I have to live up to something. Oh, God damn, I've got to post. I've got to write something again. Oh, God, it's rough out here when you're doing your smarter goals. But do you know how gosh darn proud I am of myself that I pulled through? And here we all are. And I have you got something out of this so far? Do you feel like, even Ranga Maria, she only just rocked up 5 minutes ago. She said, yes, this is awesome. Look at that. Just write it down. I love you. So, and you'll see my post about giving a shit, or you've got to back yourself enough that it doesn't matter if nobody else does. But guess what? That's what makes everyone back you too, because and every time I do it and I just lean in, pull up my big girl pants and get it done and do it, I am so happy and I feel real good. I'm amped. It's like a drug. So just trust yourself. The wobbles are normal, all right? I need time off, kids. Time alone. Yeah, great. We can read everyone's things. I'm just zooming through the last bit. You're amazing, doing well. Just give yourself a little drink of water and a little shuffle in your seat if you want to just commit for the last bit. You're doing amazing, fam. Reward. Who misses out on this bit? I have been so guilty of missing out. When and how will you celebrate? Make it valuable and enjoyable. Rewards build sustainable habits. I repeat, rewards build sustainable habits. I want you to go in. If you have the playbook, great. If you don't, just make yourself a little smarter goals thing. Every goal that you have this year that's important, chuck it up here. So let's ask one person as a quick example. You need to be somebody who can answer your sentence instantly. Who hasn't shared? Debbie, Rangamarie, Penny shared. Ash, someone brave. Vanessa, other Vanessa.
What's the sentence?
I'm going to ask you, I'm going to take you through the smarter goals as an example, and you're going to say it in one sentence each answer. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You weren't here for the start, so you just have to pick one goal you have this year. Do you have one in mind?
Yeah, I'm going to record 7 tracks.
Great. See that? Great. So the first thing, specific. What is your specific goal you want to achieve? She just said it. I'm going to record 7 tracks. Boom. Amazing. Measurable. How will you measure the goal and track the progress and know once you've achieved it?
I'll measure it by bouncing it off my engineers, my working collaboration partners.
Yep. And will it just be recorded, or do they need to be online? Can people stream it and listen to it? Like, is that part of the
It's
measure?
going to be performed in 100,000 Strong, which is a 100-piece hip hop choir for a fundraiser for a charity that I work with.
Great. So when you know it's performed, then you'll know you've achieved that goal. Amazing. So
Yes.
how
Yeah.
achievable is it? So A, for SMA, is achievable. Can you achieve the goal? What skills do you have and which ones do you need to obtain? Is there something that you still need to obtain? It could be tools, resources to make it happen. Is there a gap in that achievement, or you've got everything you need already?
I will just work on my own voice inside of that, whether I'm not good at engineering, so I got an engineer who is good at that. Yeah, everyone else is all my friends and family who fill the gaps at what I don't have. I know I can't have everything at once, but yeah, no, I have everything I want. I will just work on my own voice
Great.
and my spirit connection to that.
Love it. Beautiful. Relevant. How relevant is this to your bigger, greater purpose and your why?
For me, it is my reason for being here. It's to fill my heart, touch, move, and inspire.
Great.
Even if it's just the wind and the trees and the birds. I know it'd be more than that.
So
But
it's
yeah, it is. My
it's
life. It's
completely
part
your
of my
purpose.
life and being, it's part of my purpose being here. And I use voice. I use sound. I'm a
love it.
writer.
I love it. Time bound. When does it need to happen? What's the end date? How much time does each component need? That's another thing you got to chunk down with time bound. If you know, for example, she knows she's going to be in the studio. If it takes X amount of sessions to record a song, she needs to make sure she's got X amount of months to get it done. So yeah, when's it going to happen?
So I've got to have a meeting next week. This is going to be also grant based. So that's meant to happen in like September, Child Protection Week.
Great. September. Great. So there's an event that you want to see, and that's really smart. If she has to make it for a special specific thing, like an event, something that's collective and global, then we're more likely to achieve our goal too. Just really take these tips. Honestly, I want to back out all the time from these things I put myself into, but then I make myself do it through things that are aligned, like it's January, it's got to do a goal planning before, I can't do it in February. Boom. Dob yourself in to achieving something by a specific time. You will be so proud of yourself. So definitely do that. Evaluate. So at the end, make sure that you create space with your group and with yourself and with your loved ones to go over how it went and what you're grateful and proud of. Yeah?
Yeah.
Obviously you can't
always.
do that right
It
now.
always,
And
like,
then a
check in.
reward. You can ask yourself, what reward will you give yourself? How you celebrate once it's done?
I usually just go to the waterfall and tell the earth how grateful I am.
Lovely. I
And
love
just
it.
let it wash down the streams and out to the oceans and
You're
into humanity.
beautiful. Amazing. So thank you for being our little demonstration. It's really that simple. And if you do that for your main goals, everyone, it's going to make a big difference. Remembering to try the chunking down. So here's your goal at the top. You're going to have the big finale at the top. You can see that. Where's my little yellow thing? You're going to have this, that's your last goal. So that's her in September at that special global event. And she's going to write it, and she's going to talk about the time it takes and the tools she needs. And she's going to do the step before, and then the step before that, the step before that. And you can repeat this page as many times as you need until you get to, so you can add in as many steps as you need, and then you get to the now goal. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, that's great to actually go backwards.
It's really, really good.
Clearer and faster.
It can get overwhelming, and we can make it too detailed and too big when we try and go from where we are now. We get really clear when we go backwards. So I want everybody to try that with one of your big goals this year, even if it's like, and see yourself. We had that vision at the start, you in a year time, or whenever your goal is achieved, if it's in a month, if it's in 6 months, if it's in a year, write that in your big finale, go step before that, write it backwards in chunks. And then we're in the final part of the playbook. Hang on, I lost my little circle. Come here, circle. Now this is what Joel and I did every month last year, and I've just tweaked it to be a little bit different, so hopefully more relevant. You can take your time to read all these if you want. But basically just like we have for the goal, we would write, and this is very, very powerful and useful because honestly, you do this at the beginning of the month and then you do this at the end of the month. Oh my goodness, doing something at the beginning and something at the end, holy guacamole, you will go, like honestly, can you even imagine how much happens in a month that you didn't expect or didn't realize? Like literally. So having your big dreams and you're like, and you know what I learned, you know what the biggest thing I learned about myself doing this little exercise I'm just showing you now? I learned that I overcommit and overestimate what I can do. I try to do a million things in a month. So this year, my goal, yes, I can see some people relating. I would honestly, and how you know, Vanessa was asking, how do you get better at something when you don't know you're doing it? Well, this is a really great way of doing it. It's better. You come in all ambitious. This month I'm going to achieve. So for me, this month was launch a webinar on, you know, vision and voice, go see my mum, and my other dream, which I'm actually completing after this today, is upload my sound medicine track that I did to YouTube and link it to the wearable energy merch, which you'll see. So there were actually 3 big, huge things, but I've had more space this month so I can. So I'd put them in my little dot points, and then I can tick them off. If you're in Canva, it's really easy to get a tick. If you're in Miro, you can tick it here. If you've printed it out, you can tick it. Again, remembering how does this align to the bigger vision? You have to do that because it's very easy to get sidetracked with what I think I need to do to live my life. And then you can have a little box here, health, wealth, and self. So for wealth, I would put in how much I wanted to make per month. For self, for Joel, he would put in his weight goals. For me, it might be stop overcommitting to things or whatever. Health could be, you know, make more food prep at home, whatever it is. It's very simple sentences down here, nothing big, but these are your main goals up here. I hope you can, if you use this formula, I'd love to know how it goes. And then at the end of the month, trust me, even just having to put the time in to fill these out is phenomenal because it's not always easy. How well did I set and achieve all this? I was constantly, I thought I'd do more than I did. So I'm going to get better at choosing less goals this year. That's my big overall. After a year, Vanessa, she's like, how do you know and change when you realize later? Well, don't worry. It took me a year to still try and get better at that. Same thing with getting up early. Sometimes it takes time. What do I need to do to adjust and change? Again, set less goals and have, you know, if I do other things, great, it's a bonus, but I don't expect more of myself than one big thing I want to achieve a month. That's for me. And then again, what am I grateful? So you're doing this monthly, and then you can do the actuals here of what actually happened with your health, what actually happened with your wealth and yourself. So before I go any further, what do people feel about that? Was that interesting and useful? Again, you can get the playbook where I put all this out nicely, or you can just copy it and make it yourself. But I want to hear back from you if you do that. And then back to our anchor. Encoding our vision. So let's just end this whole thing with creating. And we're going to do this, honestly, we've gone way over time, so we're going to do this just like a minute. I'm going to put some music on, and we're going to move around the space, or you can stay still if you want to, if you're in your bed or whatever, but if you move around, even better, because kinetic movement of the body, and you're going to think about everything we've just done. And we are going to create your little affirmation mantra, because repeating it, prosody, chanting, mantras, the words, the vibration, the frequency, all of this is going to help you achieve this when you want to avoid yourself, when you want to tell yourself you're not worthy enough, when you want to escape your own goals that you've set for yourself, when life throws you curveballs, you need to come back to your sonic anchors. So I want you to, as we move to the music, use the sonic anchors that we created at the start, those actions and sounds and words and that you're using to create that feeling you want to create this year, and you're going to use that as much as possible. But also, if you can, create a phrase. All right, let's go. This is going to be nice and short and sweet, but very, very powerful, and I commend you for staying here for this. And I want you to write anything in the comments about how this was for you after. If you can stick around for one extra 30 seconds to just give some feedback in the comments about what you learnt. So I want you to think about that, but let's just move our body. Let's move our body. Where's this music? Coming in hot. Let's do my favorite. I always just love my... Actually, I could do it with this track. And this track. All right. So we want to make noise, want to make movement, and you want to make your phrases, your words, who you are for the year. Tongues out, body loose. So do the 30 seconds to a minute. Just go with it. Keep that mantra going. Use your breath. See yourself being your best self, achieving this goal that you've chosen. How do you sound and move? I am the greatest in the world at what I do. What phrases you want to spit out? People feel me, they love me. Say it out loud. Tell the world. Regrets in now. It doesn't take much to get amped about what you're doing. It doesn't take much at all. So just keep activating yourself with your words, your voice, your body. Yes! What's your sonic anchor? Bring it through. That feeling, that sound, that energy in your body that gets you lit up about your life, about your visions. Keep programming that into your body. Keep feeling it, breathing it in. And I want you letting out now long. Unmute your mics if you feel. I'd love to hear you all. Let's tone. And with your eyes closed and as you're toning, see that vision just really anchoring in. Breathing in. Sending it into every part of your body as you tone it. Moving your muscles of flow. I'm not afraid to be seen, to be heard, to be the word. To spread my message far and wide across the universe. Tell yourself as you sound it through. So beautiful, so powerful. It's the simplest thing that can make us feel amazing. That wasn't meant to happen, but that's kind of funny. That's what I need to do. All right. finishing the end of this. I love anyone to share, to use your voice. Share out loud. It's easier than typing. What did you get from this? What's the biggest thing that dropped through? You can type it in the comments as someone's sharing out loud. We're about to jump off in 1 minute. Before we jump off, tell me out loud or share in the comments, what's one of the biggest things that you got from this? Let me know. Yeah, Misty, you put your hand up, did you?
Yeah, I really feel like I have it all to just do something this year, like actually make things happen. Like I feel it fully. So I don't know, that's the shortest description.
Amazing.
I actually feel it.
Carrie says the excavator's calling her. Thank you for the structure and the actual task. Excellent. Thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Misty. Great. I love that you feel motivated. And just by putting in some of that movement, that sound, that breath, it can motivate us and give us the energy we need to believe in ourselves. What else? More shares?
Yes. Thank you for the anchor to my goals and that they're smarter.
Yes. Boom. I love that. Yeah, you're going to have so much fun. Stop being in the dark shade and sharing for everyone to feel and understand the true purpose of life, says Pauline. Beautiful, lovely.
That's
Thank you
just
for
great. It's just very grounded, focused, and practical.
Great. Perfect. That's how I believe it or not, I love being grounded, focused, and practical. It's what it takes, right? Any other shares? What else? What did you get from today? Any big magic panic drops? Thank you, fam. Let's close our space. Feel the excitement. This is one of my favorite anchors to summons energy, and I want you to feel everything you went through today and your little goal, and when you throw your hands up together at the end, you're going to throw it out into the ether, into the world, and make it happen. Again, if you want to work with me, come do visible voice to get you out there. If you're having trouble being seen on social media and using all the tech to make it easy, I want to help you get it out there. It's going to be super fun. I love you very much. Just bring this energy, all your vision, get really excited all the way through, and poof! I love you. I love you. I love you. If you are interested in Visible Voice, ask me. I have $100 off discount. It's actually very cheap. It's only a few hundred anyway. So for being on this webinar, as a thank you, you get a one-on-one with me and for me to walk you through my text tools, my confidence, and all the tricks that I use to be who I am and get myself out there so that we can make creatives, create the world. I love you.
Thank you, beautiful. You're inspiring.
Thank you, Tashka. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Great. All right, you can all jump off. Oh, what I got is realizing I had a clear plan of bringing more fun and play and joy into this year. I love the magic, the mantra, and the physical thing I can drop in to remind myself. Thank you, Joanna. Thanks, gorgeous. Love you. Bye.